I'm going to show you how I turned $1,000 into $17,000 with Illuvitars. Now, I'm not going to lie, I got a little lucky, and it's very unlikely you'll be able to do the same thing, but I do believe there is money to be made in Illuvitars. This past weekend, I made flipping Illuvitars and accessories on the Illuvidex my job. I've opened 100 packs so far, and I'm going to show you the results of those packs, as well as my thoughts on where Illuvium Beyond goes from here, the market, and what you should be looking at if you're trying to make a little bit of money off of this. Now, as always, this is not financial advice, but let's get right into it. So first I'll say I technically didn't make $17,000, but I did get a blazing Ramfire, which is the most rare Illuvitar with the most rare expression. The two downsides to it is that it is a weak background and it is not an alpha. I do have that listed on the market right now for around 11 ETH, but because it's only been a short amount of time and there's not that many of these Ramfires, it's really hard to put a value on it. So yeah, I know some people in the comments will say it's not worth 11 ETH, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's 8 ETH, maybe it's 5 ETH. We don't really know at this point. But I'm going to keep it on the market for 11 ETH for a little while and see what happens. So yeah, in this top right corner here, you can see this was my best pull. It was actually from a standard non-alpha disc. Even that hollow Sleepy Earth Groko, I believe I was able to sell for around $30. You can see in the top left is what I have in my account. So I do have 2 alpha mega discs and 2 alpha standard discs that I didn't sell. I'm holding those for, maybe even years down the line. I think I will plan to hold on to some regular megas and standard discs when we get towards the end of the sale. Again, my estimated Illuvitar value, I'm putting at around 10 ETH, but again, don't really know what I might get out of that. And I still have a little bit of accessories. And so here's the breakdown of what I've purchased. So I started out with 3 alpha mega discs and 5 alpha standard discs, and then I added another 5 alpha standard discs. And I'm not gonna lie, with the alpha discs, I really didn't get lucky at all. I actually made a tweet at one point that I had opened, I believe, 20 discs and didn't get any hollows at that point. But when the alpha sale ended and the non-alpha discs came up, I decided I want to give a go at it. What I kept doing was I would buy 5 standard discs, and then I would just sell off the contents inside of it. And every time I made my money back, I would buy 5 more discs. And my goal was just to keep buying until I got something rare. And it happened. I was actually only about 40 discs in when I pulled this blazing Ramfire. And then at that point, even though I haven't sold it, I know it has a lot of value. So I just decided to, kind of go all in. And I just kept buying more and more discs. And so all in all, I've spent around $1,100 on these discs. How I'm calculating it here is I'm basically putting in the average price of that day for the SILV2. So you can see I'm filming this on the 13th, actually in the middle of this crypto pump that we have going on right now. But when I purchased these, the average price was around $48, and I bought 10 this morning, and I bought 10 yesterday. So that came out to $1,152. So where I'm sitting at right now, you can see is $1,520 total. I didn't put any ETH into this account, so this $1,100 was all putting in SILV2 and buying discs and then selling off the contents. In this small spreadsheet right here, you can see I started out with 15 SILV2, and then I added another 15 SILV2 for a total value of around $1,400 at the time. So my goal is to always keep this total right here above that $1,400. So if I'm above that $1,400, I'm typically buying more discs to see what I can get. Now that doesn't include what I have listed on the market right now. Again, that blazing Ramfire. That right there is going to keep me in the green forever. Fortunately, again, I got lucky. But I also have some other rare things like this, the meme glasses and the metal neck chain. And then a few hollows that I'm trying to sell off right now. But one cool thing that I've noticed is that even if I didn't get this Ramfire or doesn't sell or anything like that, I've still been able to make a profit outside of that Ramfire. So just some quick thoughts on my what I have for notes over here. So I haven't opened a ton of mega discs. I haven't had much luck with it. And in my personal experience, I see a lot more value in the standard discs versus the mega discs. Because you're buying 5 standard discs for the value of a mega disc. You're going to end up with 5 regular Illuvitars, 5 tier 0 Illuvitars, and 15 accessories. Now I think the long-term play is the mega discs, because to my understanding, the accessories and the tier 0 Illuvitars will be available in future waves. So because this is the first wave and the demand is still kind of there, I think from a value standpoint, those standard discs are probably going to be the best option this time around. Once we get into wave 2 and beyond that, I think the mega discs will be the play. Drop in demand here. There's been a pretty steep drop in demand, and I expect that to keep going for the next couple months, which is why I'm not too worried about the collection aspect at this point. I think I will get into a little bit more of the collecting maybe a month or two down the road. But right now, I feel like if you want to get max value, you're buying up these discs and you're selling whatever you get in pretty much at the floor value. And a quick tip, if you're putting these on the market, you have to put it below floor if you want it to sell. Because the demand is dropping, if you put it just above the floor and you look back in a couple hours, there's going to be even more listed below you. So if you actually want to get some of the value out of here, you're better off listing it below the floor now, even if it has a higher power ranking, just to get that value, or the floor is going to end up dropping even more and you're going to miss out on anything that you could have gotten. Now, if you're not doing this already, SILV2 is the way to go. Even though it's been pumping, it's still giving you a 25 to 30% discount. And if you're buying these discs for the SILV2, selling it off for ETH, which is basically what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm trying to keep that same value. It's more valuable in ETH form because the SILV2 in-game is pegged to ILV, but on the free market, it's, again, 25% less. Now, for the alpha versus non-alpha Illuvitars, I've actually been surprised about the value of the non-alphas so far, and I don't expect that to last too long. I think the long-term play is going to be the alpha Illuvitars, but in theory, if you're paying 5 times more for an alpha disc, then the same Illuvitar should be worth 5 times more as an alpha version. But we're seeing on the market that that's not really the case. The alpha version, from what I'm seeing, is typically maybe 2 to 3 times more. So again, right now, I think the play is buying the non-alpha discs and selling them off for the floor price. Accessories, I'm seeing a steep drop off in that, even faster than the Illuvitars itself. And it makes sense because even the accessories in the alpha packs are not labeled as alpha in any way. So they're really the same accessories. So once they started flooding the market after the alpha sale, they started dropping significantly. So I would say at this point, if you get an accessory, sell it off. Buy it back later cheaper. Tier 0 Illuvitars. Again, those are actually going for higher prices than I think they really should. If I get an absolute base Illuvitar, I'm selling it off right now for 50 to 75 cents. But to my understanding, these are also going to be available in future waves. So if you're a long-term collector, you don't need to be holding on to these tier 0s right now because you're going to be able to get them later on for probably a lot cheaper. Now, holos. We know that holos are about a 5% chance of getting them, so 1 in 20. I do believe these are going to be another longer-term play, even for the non-alphas. Because if you think about it, so like I was just saying, an alpha versus a non-alpha should be worth about 5 times more, but a holo non-alpha should be worth about 20 times more. So in my opinion here, a holo non-alpha should be worth more than the same alpha version. And so I'll definitely keep you updated if this Ramfire I got sells at any point and for how much. Right now, I'm not trying to move it too quick because we're still in that price discovery phase. I do expect more of these to be minted, even though there's only 7 total. 5 are alpha, 2 are non-alpha. I expect by the end of this run that we probably have at least 10 to 15 more of these. But I'm going to try to get max value. But yeah, that was my thoughts on Illuvium Beyond. Only been a week so far, so maybe at the end of this run I'll make another video on how it all went and how to get max value out of Wave 2. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like down below. See you in the next one. I put a tweet out a little before this. I want to do this March Madness Beyond bracket with other Illuvium community members. So if you can find that tweet, I'll try to put it in a link below. Send me your best or favorite Illuvitar that you've gotten, and I'll try to include you into the video I make.